solo single is due to be out, Look at Me.
Yeah.
What about an album?
The album, yes, the album is out on June the 7th. And
it's called?
I'm not telling you. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. If we go on, go out for a month, then I might tell you. And but this album is like a blueprint of me. That's how I've described it. I kind of said, if this was the last album that I ever wrote, let's just take it to the max, let my imagination go wild. And as an album by myself, I get really angry when you pay £15, which is a lot of money, and then there'd be 2 tracks on there that are kind of singles and the rest blend into one. So what I try to do is paint pictures, really entertaining. I think music should be panoramic, should be cinematic, it should never be lazy.
You write them? You write the whole thing?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I work with these 2 producers that are, that do write with me, but basically, I've always been, had a healthy input when I wrote with the Spice Girls, so whatever I gave, I've taken with me. And the way I write, for example, the way I wrote the chorus of Stop. Do you remember Stop, that single? And I was lying in bed at 1 o'clock in the morning and I went, stop right now, thank you very much. I need somebody with a human touch. Hey, you, always on the run, gotta slow it down. I asked this lady to do a documentary on me immediately after I left the Spice Girls. And I don't know whether I did it for one reason, that I was kind of so used to having a camera with me and it was kind of going on to methadone. Almost. Or to be frankly honest, I was so used to that company. One, I openly admit in the documentary that I needed a friend. I desperately wanted company. And then the other thing I think was actually good for me in one way was I lost control. First, when I left the Spice Girls, I asked her to do it. I thought I had complete control in this documentary. But, this lady has done these on things like Tony Blair and London Zoo. She's an award-winning documentary maker, and she would not give up control. And we'd already started making it. And, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to trust it. And I cringe at myself. I'm on the floor. It's so honest. But I think, on one hand, I don't want it to be seen, and I wish nobody would see it. I'm frightened what everybody thinks of me. But then there's a piece of me thinks that actually it's good for people to see, actually, you know what, that we're all human beings, we all cry, we're all frightened.
Look at your UN work. Geri Halliwell has been speaking about her role as a UN Goodwill Ambassador. She'll be promoting safe sex and women's rights, and she's determined to get the message across.
I'll tell you what, though, what happened to me was on the day of when I had to do that World Press Conference, I wasn't meant to do it then. I wasn't meant to do it for about 5 days later, and I went there for a briefing. Okay, and this is all on that documentary. But basically, they said, no, you've got to talk about it this morning. So I had an hour's briefing to go and, can you imagine? And I was jet lagged, and I'm like, oh my God, I was so nervous. Imagine, it was so terrifying. But then I so wanted to do it so that I overcome the whole thing. Is that our last day?
No.
We've got 2 more. Oh wow, we're going steady. That means we're going steady. Or maybe I haven't got any friends, is that what it is? And I have got some really nice friends, about 3, 4, I don't know. And my sister's there and Alistair's there and it's great and whatever. But I just got this massive, I don't mind working hard all week. But at the weekend I think, oh, it's the anti-climax of the weekend happens to me. Because I know there's nothing there. Do you know what I mean? When the work stops, I'm like, oh. It's like that. Every weekend I start crying.
Oh, that's...
I feel like I've got a job. Do you know, it gives you... People are unemployed, you get low self-esteem. And I suppose I feel like I've got a job and it's, it does give you life meaning. This is going to give my life meaning. It so is.
What are you most nervous about today?
I suppose, to be honest, I am unconfident, and I'm sure this is I'm going into a new area, a new field. And it's like anything, when you start a new job, you don't know how to use the photocopier. And, so I'm going to be talking about a subject that I'm learning. So, and obviously, they're very quick to criticise, she's just a bimbo, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not.
First single after years with the Spice Girls.
Yes.
Let's just go back a bit and talk about some of the jobs you've done in the past. Because I say this with the most respect, you've been around the block a couple of times.
I started work when I was about 12. You know, I worked...
Why was that?
One of the first jobs I had was on a market stall. And this guy, he was sold dressing up clothes for little kids. And he used to make me dress up in a nurse's outfit, a policeman's outfit, and I don't think I had any real idea. And then I worked in a chip shop and I couldn't see over the counter. I worked in Covent Garden as a waitress and I got big tics because they all felt sorry for me. Because when I was about 12, I looked about 6. I was so short for my age because my mother's Spanish.
So right then, the first one, the modelling.
Yeah.
Those nudie pics that keep turning up.
Yeah.
Everything you've done, that's been a way of sort of building towards the future, building towards wherever it is you're going.
Are you saying how was nudie pickies?
Yeah, how did that get you where you wanted to go?
I didn't feel like the prettiest girl in the world. It's very flattering to have that kind of attention, I suppose. You know, for somebody to make me look half decent on camera. You know, I was a bit of a late developer as well, so it was like, wow, I've got a pair. So I was quite excited about that.
Look at these.
Yeah.
Look at these.
You know, so, and when I found it, you know, uninteresting and I didn't like it anymore, I stopped, my choice. So.
And game show hostess.
Love that bridge. This sofa could be yours. Yeah, again.
It's kind of art to that. It's all about hands, isn't it?
Totally.
Hands and eyes.
Love that sofa. No, that was the same. That developed from my, after the modelling thing. I was still at college and it was great because, you know, they'd fly me out to Istanbul.
So how did you get the gig?
You know, it's just somebody had spotted me from the modelling thing, you know, and I had to speak a little bit of Turkish and I used to write it on my arm. Söz bakalım. And that was it. And
which means?
Let's make a deal. And there'd be 3 curtains and I'd be in this gown and thick with makeup. But it was fine at the time, you know. Actually, that was my first taste of celebrity out there.
I bought this doll. It's here. Do you recognise her?
Yes, and I'm so jealous of her. She's got such longer legs. Give me those legs.
Oh, right.
The waist, the breasts.
$9.99. How much of that would you see?
That is a vulgar question. I think, you know, we didn't...
See, now we know each other.
Yeah, you're really pushing it now. I think, you know, everybody likes to sensationalise how much people earn in the music industry, but, you know, it's all exaggerated massively. You know, I'm very, very grateful for what I've earned through, you know, through working in the music industry because I've got, you know, I've come a long way since then, but, you know, today, that's not what I do it for. You know, money is great, but it's not fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Your health and your happiness, I've been there and learnt that, you know. It's fine and it gives you freedom to a point, but it can enslave you once again. Greed can enslave you. That can, you know, seize your freedom. So you have to be careful.
So,
and you.
We kind of hit a bit of a rocky patch.
Yeah, we did. The only way is up, you know.
You see me get tomorrow.
I find that you become close in relationships. If you have an argument with somebody and then you get through that argument, then you become closer.
So, tomorrow?
Yes. Tomorrow, we'll be going all the way.
Final date then. So
are you bored of me yet?
Oh no, no.
That's right.
So can we talk about love?
Yes.
So have you ever had your heart broken?
Yes. Yes, lots of times. Lots and lots of times. But I think that it's better to have loved, and even for a little period, than not to love at all. I think one of the first boys, you know, really broke my heart. I think leaving the Spice Girls broke my heart a little bit. It did. Yeah. I think I was a bit romantic about the whole thing.
I wanted to hear about that first time you had your heart broken. You did that too.
Do you know what? This guy, I'm not saying his name, right, but I'll never forget, he basically went with another girl. He went back to his old girlfriend and I was gutted.
How old were you?
I was probably about 18, something like that. And I think it was more infatuation, actually. But I behaved really pathetically, you know, literally, please don't leave me, that pathetic. And then from there, and I thought, right, wait you see, you're going to be sorry, I'm going to be famous, and then you'll be, you know, and I always built him up into my mind of one day that I was going to see him, and then he'd be sorry. And but I think I saw him and it wasn't there anymore. You know, I just saw him passing the street.
Your love life is one of those areas that your neighbours just love to take a shift at.
Yeah, but we all do, don't we? I'm guilty, exactly the same. When something's in the paper about me, I'll go, that's not true. And then the next day I'll say, oh, God, have you seen that about him? You know, it's the same. We're all the same. We all like to gossip. You know, I put that in my song, Hot Gossip. You know, we're the same, but it's cold-blooded about it.
Cold-blooded, hot gossip, superficial expectations.
I've had lots of people say they've had sex with me, you know, and sold stories, but actually it's absolute nonsense. You know, there was one person that said they had a 4-hour rump with me, and my mother was classic, she's Spanish, she goes, I know it's not true, nobody can go for 4 hours. So that was classic. You know, I did worry what people, you know, would think of me, think, oh, is she, you know, that kind of girl, and actually I'm not. That image of what's, you know, part of me is quite, you know, fiery, but it's not very nice to have, you know, something put your dirty washing in public, of course.
Especially when it's not your washing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go for the foie test. I've got some pictures here. Let's see what my competition is. So, Keanu, what do we think of Keanu?
I think Keanu, I identify with him because he has weight fluctuation like me. But he's a bit of a hey dude.
Bit of a hey dude.
Surf dude for me.
No?
Not my cup of tea.
Okay. Leonardo?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit too little boyish, but he's cute. You know,
manly.
For a day, he'd be fun.
So, Robbie Williams?
No, he's been good. I couldn't because he's been out with too many pop stars, and I wouldn't want to be one of many.
What do you think is the quickest way to a man's heart?
Food.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Actually, food's not bad.
Food's good, yeah. Food and good conversation.
Oh, we haven't eaten anything yet. No.
You know, and a bit of petting, affection, cuddling. I like cuddling.
So you're oh.
So we can kind of like
I think that's
cuddling.
not a bad time to end with.
Yeah, I like cuddling.
Jerry, thanks very much.
Thank you. A single is coming.